And now that I've done that great intro, I am not going to say it again. We're just going to go live, and I'm just going to continue off where where I left off. Let's see here. So the subject of our conversation today is largely like the human experiences that we're kind of replacing with apps, and I think that's both a good thing and a bad thing. And I'm here to talk with Cliff and Thomas about it. Cliff, how you doing this evening?
Excellent. I'm
Great.
enjoying a tasty beverage and I'm in good company. So, what more could
Uh,
I ask for?
a tasty beverage. I'm still doing my dry January, so I'm a little jealous. I'm not sure what if your tasty beverage is dry
It's
or
it's actually
alcohol.
it is alcohol. It is the first alcohol. Well, I have really cut back my consumption quite a bit. So
Mm,
I but so in a way I'm kind of I am doing a damp January, not so
a
much
damp January. Okay, all right, that's legit.
a slightly moist January. But I am enjoying a pint. Oh Guinness.
Oh,
So if I'm
nice,
gonna do it,
nice.
I'm gonna do it right.
Remind me to tell you a story after we get off air. So, but anyway, so yeah, my dry January actually started on like January 6th, because I was on vacation until the 4th, and I wasn't going to not drink on vacation. And then like when we got back, my daughter got me like this tumbler glass. That says something like "because I have kids" or something like that, or "to." I think it was "to dad from the reasons you drink." I think that's what it was.
She
And so like
knows. She
yeah, so
knows.
she made me drink out of it the one time. So okay, anyway. So my dry January is actually going to go to about February 6th. But anyway, so when we were now, if you've been to Disney World in the past few years, you may have realized that Disney World has become a very app centric place. And I believe you're right. We did talk about this on TechBeard once upon a time about 5 or 6 years ago, but I think it's grown even more since then. Like you use your phone for every damn thing in Disney. When we got to the hotel, we did not have to check in at the front desk. We just went straight to our room and our phone opened the door.
Hmm.
When we went to the parks, we had our passes on our phones. When we went to the parks, I had our passes on my Apple Watch. So like I didn't even have to get my phone out. I just had to like swipe over to the right person, tap my watch, and we could go in. When you're at the park, you can order your food online and you can have it, picked up at a certain place. They have lightning lanes, which is what they call them, which is basically through the app, you pick a ride that you want to go on and they tell you, "Okay, come to this ride at 5:30 and you won't have to wait in line. You can just get on the ride." I mean, like it's insane what they're doing through apps these days. And the reason I brought up Hertz was because for the one day that we went to the Kennedy Space Center, which was the subject of last week's podcast, the one day that we went, we rented a car through Hertz. And on the way to the Hertz parking lot, I checked in with our car through the Hertz app. We didn't have to go to the counter. We just walked up to a car, got in, and left.
That's
I
actually really
mean,
disappointing. You didn't get a chance to have a Hertz donut.
I don't know what that means, but okay.
That's
um,
that's you're supposed to ask somebody if they want a Hertz donut. And then when they say, "What's a Hertz donut?" you hit them on the shoulder and you say, "A Hertz donut."
that's that's kind of stupid, but also kind of funny. I like it. But I mean, like, it got me to thinking, and like, I actually pitched this story to Digital Trends, and they said, "No, thanks." But it like just got me to thinking like how app centric we've become, and I think a lot of it is because of COVID. Like, the most local example that I can think of is Target. When we make Target runs, 50% of the time we do everything in the app, and we just have them do it curbside. They bring it out, they put it in our trunk. Why would anyone shop any other way? I don't understand this. When we're ordering food, 50% of the time we order the food through the app, so we just have to like walk in, grab a bag, and leave. I mean, it's become such a and I don't know. I genuinely do not know if we are better off for this. So, what do you think?
I think specifically in the health environment that we live in right now, I think it is a positive thing. I think
Hmm,
the less human to human, like direct contact kind of interaction you can have, I think that's a good thing. And especially when
fair.
you don't have to go into a store, all those kind of things. I mean, I think Disney is almost like a separate thing because it just, from what everybody tells me, and I'm sure we'll discuss here, it's just it makes everything sort of magical and expedited, and it's just that's really cool. But I think in general, yeah, it's interesting though. Yeah, just really quickly, like when I go to, especially chain restaurants, I mean, it's so many more parking spots are dedicated to those, where people just drive up and
Yeah,
you come and they
curbside.
deliver it to you. Yeah, the curbside pickup. I've done it quite a few times now at Best Buy
Mm-hmm.
specifically. Shout out
Mm,
to another podcast that we recorded. Usually I do have my wife and kid with me. We just drive up, they bring it out, and they just say, I'm here. I'm in the
yep.
green car. Come out and bring it to me. Um, but yeah, I mean, I don't know what the social implications are long term, and I don't know if we'll go back, um,
I
to
I
something a
really
little more
hope we
interactive.
don't.
Mm.
I really hope we don't because honestly, it's just so convenient to just drive up. Like the other day, it was. I mean, I felt so bad because I'm a decently reasonably in shape person. Like I can walk into a store and physically put items into a cart.
Right.
Like don't ask me to run anywhere for any reason, but I can walk and I can carry things. But the other night, it was like I don't know 10 degrees out, something like that, some crap like that, and we did a we did a Target order, and just the poor person that had to bring that order out like in a cart and like huddle over her thing while she was trying to type in these numbers and like then just put it in the like I legitimately felt bad. I'm like, I totally could have walked into the store and gotten this stuff. Like, I did not need to make them come out. But I mean, it's like some companies are really on point with this. Some companies are still lagging behind. Like, have you done a Walmart pickup order? I mean, I don't know how it is
I
around
have
you,
not.
but our Walmart is a dumpster fire when it comes to pickup orders. Like you pull into the spot and they have a phone number. Like the Target app, you tell it when you're coming so they know to start getting your order together.
Mm-hmm.
You tell them when you get there so they know to bring it out, and then they have like a code that you show them so they know you're the right person. At
Right.
Walmart, you pull up, they have a phone number like I it's not literally, but it may as well be spray painted on the side of the building. You call that number and they have no idea who you are or what you're talking about. I'm here to pick up an order. Oh, you want an order? What's your number? What's your name? And like maybe they bring it out 10 minutes later. It's actually fairly terrible.
Yeah, that's
But
pretty similar to the experience that I had pre-pandemic when because they've had the order stuff online and pick it up in this case the back of the store and like the
yeah.
designated like orange area, and every time that I have done that with Walmart, it's stacked with a whole bunch of other things in the very back where they picked it and then it's there. There's
Yeah.
almost never someone at the register, so they have to go.
Mhm.
Someone I have to
Mhm.
like find the person. It's never been a good experience. So I can't imagine that the curbside experience from Walmart is much better. It also may depend on the store too. So
It might, but I mean, just to now, I want you're right. You are absolutely right when you say when it comes to the health situation that we're in right now, it's definitely better to minimize contact as much as possible. But I gotta say, going forward, like I really hope that curbside is one of those things that really catches on because I have to think like a lot of these companies have devoted a lot of infrastructure to this.
mm-hmm.
Like Target alone, just in app development costs alone, they've already put this is already a sunk cost for them. So I have to imagine that this is gonna stick around. But like and we're not psychologists here, so obviously it's going to be hard for us to determine like what the long-term effects of this are going to be, but I got to say like I'm kind of okay with it.
Well, see, here's a thought, right? And I think we can kind of use this to segue to Disney. Feel free to edit that out if you're not. But my thought is, I work for a high end resort, and things that we've had to do because of the pandemic is the same thing that most places like a resort have had to do, where we're minimizing contact and human interaction is less. And one of the things that our resort is known for is that southern hospitality, the interactions with sometimes people that have been at this place for 30, 40 years, and so people have been coming
Mm-hmm.
having that same waiter or bellman, and so they have like personal conversations, and
Yeah.
that's part of like the premium experience, right? And
Hmm.
so I would, as much as the appification of things is nice, I think there's still something to be said for, besides just the social ramifications of less human interaction. Just that it almost becomes like I wonder, does like human interaction become like a premium experience, and that's it? Like, you
Mm.
see what I'm saying? Like,
Oh,
does it get?
absolutely.
Yeah. Um,
Well, because I mean, when you think about it, like we've been on this track for a long time. When you look at the decline of like shopping malls compared to like Amazon, and now the decline of shopping malls probably has more to do with like Walmart than it does Amazon, but still.
right. Right.
But even so, like, this Christmas, I can't think of a single. That's not true. My wife's stocking stuffers I went to a store to actually buy. But like of the gifts that we bought, I can't think of a single one that I didn't order from Amazon. And like, a lot more of our transactions have been occurring online for
Right.
years now.
Right.
This is
Right.
not a new thing. And you know what? Probably going to edit this out, but I'm getting some feels here because this kind of feels like a tech beard topic.
Does.
Like I'm getting some real feels here. But anyway, so this is nice. But anyway, so like just as a society, I think we've been leaning in the direction of less humans, less going out, more things being brought to us, that type of situations. And I have to think that like the pandemic may have spurred us,
Yeah.
may have forced this evolution, air quotes, to where we're doing everything through apps now. But it's just like it's so, I don't know, it honestly feels magical. But at the same time, like especially at Disney, and let's use this opportunity to transition back to Disney, because there's a lot of stuff that you can do on your phone in Disney that isn't just admission stuff, but like a lot of the things that Disney does is very heavily reliant on network connectivity.
Mm.
And if you've ever put 60,000 people in the same space before, I don't know if it's 60,000 people, it's probably not 60,000 people, it's a lot of thousands of
I
people.
wouldn't be surprised, honestly. I've only been to Disney once, and just the sheer amount of parking lots that you have, all named after like different characters
Yeah,
and
that's true.
that kind of stuff. But just as
I
an
wouldn't know
aside,
anything
I
about
wouldn't be
parkings
surprised.
because I stayed in on property, so we just bust everywhere. Um,
Look at you, fancy pants.
it was very nice, and you know what? It was great for an entire week. There was no reason to stay sober. Anyway, no. Getting back though, uh, it was heavily reliant on network connectivity, and a lot of the times even with all the 5Gs that we have, there was still a lot of connectivity problems. Like I did a tweet, I don't know if you saw it or not, but like I said Disney says use our app for the best experience, also Disney, and it was just a spinning circle like trying to process. And you know what? I actually got not a hate mail, but like someone said, "Oh my god, I can't believe you're on an iPhone. I thought you were an Android fan all these years." I'm like, seriously. But anyway, I'm like, well, if it helps, the video was taken with a Pixel 6.
Can
So
we just? I'm gonna do like just a 5 second. Stop it.
I,
That's a bad person. Stop it.
one hundo. Anyway, so like, but still network connectivity was a major problem there. And so we were speculating at Digital Trends and like our work chat, like Disney really should, if they haven't already, they should build like millimeter wave antennas into every, like as many hidden Mickeys as there are, they should have millimeter wave antennas that are hidden and built into the landscape and the sculpture there. Because like if there's anybody who can do it, it's Disney engineers. If they can take a series of radar towers and make them look like a tree, I have zero doubts that that's going to be a problem. So I mean, if they like blanketed that park in like maybe not even millimeter wave towers, but still 5G towers, like because like one of the attractions of 5G was the increased bandwidth and being able to put 40,000 people in a stadium and everybody can use their
Right.
phones.
Exactly.
That was one of the promises. We still don't have that. Although actually, now that Verizon and AT&T are rolling out their mid-band, who knows? But like T-Mobile, that doesn't work.
No.
Trust me, that doesn't work. I spend half my summer at Great America. I know that doesn't work. But anyway.
By the way, I'm just gonna say Hidden Mickey sounds like a band.
It should be. And if it isn't, it will be. And actually, it wouldn't surprise me if it was like some kind of Disney cover band. Um, but
This is true. But but here's the thing that I was thinking about, just going back to that premium experience thought, right? Is that if I could think of any company that could blend the touchless and like expedited experience of the app thing with like the doors, and
mhm.
still maintain that level of like interaction and customer service and just friendly people, it would be Disney, because
Yeah.
it's amazing. Like that place, even I work at, like I said, a really high end resort that's known for its hospitality. But oh my god, like Disney is crazy with
Well,
it.
well, and this is a side note and completely unrelated to our topic, but one problem that Disney does not have that like most other places do have these days, staffing issues.
Yeah,
Disney
yeah.
does not have staffing issues. Disney has people whose entire job is like to stand next to a line and say, "Here's the line."
Hmm.
I mean, that's like their entire job. Like you go to Six Flags here in Chicago, and like during Fright Fest, they had like a zombie shortage. Like 5 years ago, they used to have like the entire park was like blanketed in like scary characters and zombies. And this year you went there and there were like stretches where there was just like nothing. There were no Halloween decorations. There was, and like they would have like these little scenes here and there where
Hmm.
like, they would have people like in costume and whatever doing their things. But like, Disney does not have a personnel shortage at all. And God bless them, because they're like, and it's funny, like I know a bunch of people that have worked for Disney over the years, and like I knew people that were like porters for Disney, like the people that literally carried your baggage to your rooms,
Hmm.
and they said it was the best job that they ever had.
Right,
And they're engineers now.
right.
And it was just like, damn. So
My dad actually, I think I probably actually said this on a previous podcast
I
that me
think
and
you
my
have.
dad was almost an Imagineer. I wouldn't
Hmm.
exist if he had, but it's still pretty cool as an engineer. Like, I'm glad he went in the direction that he did. I'm just saying that's pretty cool. I was
Yeah.
thinking, it's just this talking about this, not just Disney, but just the whole appification and touchless and all these kind of things, the integrated technology and stuff, makes me think about something I would really like to try, and that's the Amazon Fresh stores that Amazon
Yeah.
has,
Yeah.
where you go in and you've got, I guess you're just logged into your, I don't know if it's like a geolocation kind of thing, but you're basically just logged in from the minute you go into your Amazon account. There is no like checkout buggy. You're just putting stuff into this special buggy, and then you bag it all and you walk out and it bills you.
You know
And
what?
that is really cool.
We have an Amazon Fresh store in my
You need
neighborhood.
to
I
try
really
it.
should go. I really
Yes.
should go. Now that I was just looking that up, I'm like, you know what? I think they opened one of those around us, but we do all our shopping at Target, so I've never had a
Yeah,
chance to
yeah.
go. But I really should, just for the experience of it.
I'd be
Um,
curious, just because it's like two different sides of I wouldn't say a coin, but like two different ways to sort of experience, that, where, because you have the curbside experience or whatever you want to call it, where they're bringing it out to you versus you just going in and
right.
gathering it all yourself and then walking out, and you're not really interacting with anybody, and it's all digitally billed, and I don't know, it's just too, yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, I really should try that actually. Now that you mention it, it's just like, why haven't I? Like me being me, that's really something that I should have tried. But you're right. Like, and I don't know if that's a bad thing. Like I want to say it's kind of a bad thing, but at the same time, I don't necessarily like. I personally don't think it's a bad thing that we're like removing, humans from the equation. Again, like sociologically speaking, this sounds like a terrible thing to say, but like technologically speaking, just the fact that we've, kind of been able to, oh my God, they're coming for our jobs. No, just the fact that we've been able to like replace a lot of people with
Right.
like app interactions is kind of amazing and kind of what people have been like terrified of, and probably part of the reason why we should have a universal basic income. But at the same time, like, we're also living in a time when people don't want to work. I mean, not that people don't want to work, but people don't want to work crappy jobs
Yeah,
for
exactly.
for
Yeah.
crappy companies that don't care about them. And I need to make that distinction, because it's not that people don't want to work. They just want to live their lives, and
I
like they
think
want to have.
we've been in this service economy now for 20, 25, 30 years, and you just don't have those manufacturing jobs, and I won't delve into this, but it does make me think
Right.
of McDonald's. I don't know if you've had the experience of walking in, and they've got basically looks like two
Oh yeah,
vertically
the
oriented
the
TVs,
touch screens. Yeah.
and now they're promoting an app for points. I mean, they're really trying to push you, towards using their app, and I mean,
And I
it's
don't
so
think that's not really necessarily about depersonification. It's more about like just turnover. Like, get in,
it
get your
is.
food, get out.
But what I was going to say is I haven't really had the best experience with it, and I'll tell you what I mean is that you order, and
Mhm.
then you pick up the little number on the side, and then you go. If you order a drink though, or there's no like what person that walks up to you and hands you the cup to fill up your drink
Right, so
before
you
you
have
get
to
your
go
meal.
and
Right, I
yeah.
have to go and ask for it, and it's like, well, why am I not just going to the thing in the first place and ordering? Like
Right.
McDonald's, you really haven't found, or maybe it's just my location again. But yeah,
Yeah.
there's definitely different levels of execution.
What's one extra neat thing, and we actually need to wrap up because
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
running a little bit long here. But one other extra neat thing about Disney is they've got these cups, these refillable cups that you can buy like for $20, and it's good for like the entirety of your stay, and it's just free refills, all the time.
Hmm.
And we easily drank $20 worth of Coke while we were there. But they've got NFC tags in the bottom of the cup, so that like when you buy the cup, they program it in like, okay, you're going to be here until the 12th. This cup will work until the 12th. And you
Huh.
take it up and you put it into the machine, and there's actually an NFC reader in the base of the machine. So you have to like put your cup down so that it reads,
Hmm.
and then it will dispense the Coke, which is kind of cool, but also kind of annoying, because like when I pour my Coke, like I pour my beers like up the side of the glass
Right, right.
so that it doesn't fizz as much. And by the way, everybody, that totally works. You need to do that.
Yeah, it
But
does.
anyway, so I do that up the side, but I couldn't do that at Disney because I had to leave the cup on the NFC
Oh,
reader. Because if I
right.
picked it up, it would say, nope, you don't. Because otherwise, people would put down their cups and then bring out like a 2-liter bottle.
It's all part of the Disney's evil plan to make you have more foam than you otherwise would have.
Well, it's all part of Disney's plan to make you walk like back to the the vending machines like 5 or 6 times throughout the day, because if you want to get more Coke, you have to go back to the machines. And I don't know if you've ever stayed on property at Disney, but
I
it's
have
like
not.
it's like a 2 or 3 block walk. So it's they very much sprawl their hotels. So
Did you stay in a themed hotel?
yeah, yeah, we were at Port Orleans Riverside.
Ooh.
So, and it was nice. You get to take the buses everywhere, and
Did you get a beignet or something while you were in?
they did not have beignets,
Oh,
unfortunately. Yeah, I think I want to say French Quarter had a beignet place, but we were in Riverside, not French Quarter. So
that was a
it is what it
transition.
is. So, all right. Anyway, we got to go ahead and wrap this up. So, that is going to do it for this episode of the podcast. And I'd like to thank Cliff for coming on and chatting with me about apps and the depersonification of everything, including myself, actually. As of next week, this podcast is going to be generated entirely by AI. I'm kidding. Please consider subscribing to this podcast if you enjoyed it. And if you really enjoyed it, I would love it if you would write a review for the show. And you can do that at ratethispodcast.com/benefit. Once again, that's ratethispodcast.com/benefit. You can write to the show by visiting benefitofadoubt.com/contact. I'd like to thank Cliff Thomas for all of his hard work behind the scenes as well. But most of all, and as always, I'd like to thank you for listening and for giving me the benefit of the doubt.